lot of times people, when they're coming into the Dubai market, they're not understanding a few basic elements that go to the root core of how everybody operates within their own ways for their own bottom line, right? Everybody understands, or perhaps doesn't understand this. Everybody is working towards their own end goal, okay? If your goals align with the other person, that's great. But you've got to recognize that everybody's doing the work for their own end goal, okay? So when you come into the Dubai market and you've got amazing developments being showcased to you and you're thinking, okay, well, this looks good. And then you've got people who are trying to sell these developments to you and telling you like you can make money off them and you can resell and all of that. You've got to recognize that, look, that person who's selling you this property, or the builder behind that person who's developing this property, their main motivation to build this property or this development is not for you to make money, okay? They're not in it for you to make money. For you to be able to make money is a byproduct of the economy, the situation, how good Dubai is as a city, a lot of people wanting to come and live over here, supply being less than demand and therefore prices going up, the whole situation behind real estate, which is assets don't get created out of thin air. Hence, generally speaking, whatever money can be made gets made by the person who's bought a property 5 years ago, because holding that property for 5 years is in itself gives in itself a reward, or holding that property and renting it out in itself gives away a reward, right? Does that make sense? So what you've got to understand is, at the end of the day, the developers identify, or the builders identified, a need in the market, okay? They've got money. Now, they want to do something with this money. They identified that, let's go to Dubai. Dubai's got this great ecosystem. There is need for housing, shelter, quality apartments, quality buildings, luxury apartments, luxury buildings, and there's enough people who are going to be willing to buy these. Great, right? So if you've got this money, let's go deploy it, and there's nothing wrong. This is absolutely good stuff, right? Let's go deploy and build and fulfill the need of people, right? So people have a need for housing and shelter, and then above that, people have a need for quality and luxury and so on and so forth, and create amenities, right? Okay, good. Let us deploy our capital to fulfill those needs of these people, and thereby we will ultimately make a profit, right? So we'll be able to make 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% profit. So what does the developer go out there? They actually go out there, then they buy land, right? So land has a cost associated to it. They then start building upon that land, right? Then they've got to employ salespeople and sales tactics and sales centers and give you a payment plan to be able to build that property or villa or so what have you, right? And the way they do this is ultimately to make themselves a profit, right? Which is fine. And it's fine as long as you realize that the developer that's building this is not ultimately doing this to build you a profit. They're building it to build themselves a profit. Or you could say they've got greater visions and ambitions, right? Which is to align themselves, contribute to Dubai's vision, so on and so forth, like the government developers do, right? They're contributing to the vision of how Dubai should grow, right? That's one of the other roles that they also play, right? Now here comes you as the buyer, the investor. You've got a certain need for shelter. Ideally, you've got the need for great shelter, nice shelter, right? Luxurious, full of amenities, great location, a place where you can enjoy your life, so on and so forth, right? And then you want your money deployed into it as an investment as well, because, you could actually just put that money in towards rental and pay somebody else's mortgage, how they say, or somebody else's property. But you're thinking, why should I pay rental when I can own my own property kind of situation? Why don't I do that? And then when you want to or choose to do that, you're thinking, okay, I would like to actually have this capital appreciate. So I would like this money to go up in time, right? So if I'm buying an apartment, a villa, a townhouse, a property today, in 5 years' time, I would hope that it goes up by 100% or 50% or 20% or 30%. Good. So what do? You end up doing a lot of research to making sure that you're buying the right things. But you've got to remember, your initial basic need is the fulfillment of shelter. Okay. The investment scenario is secondary, not secondary, it's there. You might even be buying it for investment only, which means you want to rent it out and get income coming out from it. But you've got to remember that when you are doing this and going about this exercise, it's your target to make a profit, not the developers. If you've got an advisor on your team, it's going to be his target to help you make a profit as well, not the developers. So even if you're buying shelter, you've still got to do the research properly to understand if you're buying something, is it going to go up? Don't just rely on salespeople selling you a property in the Dubai market and telling you, okay, well, we've built this great product so that you can actually resell it in 3 years' time or 4 years' time and your money's going to double. Buyer beware, right? It's not their job to make you profit. It's their job because they've invested capital. Their job, the developer's job, is to fulfill your requirement, which is housing and shelter, quality, amenities, luxury. It's your job to assess whether this capital will appreciate in the coming years, right? Understand that distinction so that you can vet and filter when people tell you, okay, this is great and do this and that. Chill. Take a step back. Understand their motivations, understand your motivation, and then understand that you are responsible to doing the research correctly to making sure that you're buying the right asset for the right reason. Why do I say this? Because I've got tons and tons of people coming to me and say, well, we've bought 3 properties and we need to now liquidate them, which is sell them and buy something else, which is more suitable for our housing needs. And I'm like, why did you end up buying 3 properties? It's almost sometimes like, oh, I bought 3 shirts. I don't wear any of them. Right? So you've got to really think about it, consider it, and then take it from there, step by step. All right, guys, look, hope this makes sense. Hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. If you want us to help you purchase a property or sell a property in the Dubai market, there's a link somewhere here. You can get in touch. Bye for now.